Kofi, you're welcome to Hot Issues.
Thank you.
Why are you in the race, despite what appears to be a loss ahead of you?
A loss? I don't understand. When you say a loss, what do you mean?
Do you still think you could win the election?
Trump won. Everybody thought it was a loss, right? He won. So, and plus, you have to understand, community, Ghana is a different country today. People are more conscious. People have been exposed to a lot more. Needs have changed. Times are harder. All these conditions drive people to a point where they snap in terms of decision making. And then they allow for something that is unusual to happen by virtue of life. And that's what's going to happen in 2024.
I see. And have you done any research to back this? Because the polls that we see do not even put you in the top 4.
And the reason is because nobody wants to accommodate me, because everybody knows that it will make everybody else look bad. It's strategic and psychological not to include me in the polls, because why wouldn't they sit and have a debate? Nobody wants to debate me. I'm coming on your show and I'm asking, if I'm that irrelevant, let's sit down and have a debate and show Ghana how we could solve the problems of Ghana. Nobody wants to debate. Ask them to come to your show and let's debate. It would be the best thing to do to actually tell Ghanaians how you're going to solve the problems of today. How we're going to get rid of the 760 billion CD debt. How we're going to move from being at 84.9% debt to GDP, how our prime rate is 13.5%. How do you borrow money? How do you start businesses? How do you turn this economy around? Nobody wants to answer that. Everybody wants to talk about promises. We're going to do this, give you free money, give you free refrigerators and stoves, and that's what they want to talk about, because people are so tight in their lives that they like to hear nonsense like that sometimes. You see?
But you're making promises too, aren't you?
It's not a promise.
What would you call
It's
what
definitive.
you say to the people?
Well, listen, we're going to change the Constitution. If you don't change the Constitution, you can't get anything done correctly in Ghana. It's a fact. Nobody talks about that. I'm the only one who talks about that. Change the Constitution, eradicate corruption. You know where corruption is right now? Community? It's $3 to $4 billion by their numbers. By their numbers. That means $3 to $4 billion in the last 32 years of a failed MDC, MPP administrations. That's $96 billion. $96 billion. And then we turn around and go to IMF for $3 billion. Is that not a joke? Tell me. So that's why they don't want to sit and have a conversation with me, because they know I'm going to reveal their blind spots.
And you think that's why you're excluded from
Of course.
polls?
I've been here since only 2019. Why wouldn't you include me in the survey? Because they don't want me to.
Because perhaps you're not pulling the numbers enough to reflect.
That's not true. Never true.
What do you think your numbers are?
My numbers are definitely better than them. Listen, let me tell you, and let me prove this fact to you. In 2020, there were a little over 12 million people who voted, right? The voter register had 17 plus. 5 million people did not vote. When Afrobarometer did the survey, they said they didn't have a choice on the ballot. So what happened to the 5 million people? They could have voted and voted for these same people who have given us no result. That didn't happen. So if 5 million people decide not to vote, there's a reason. And the excuse is, we don't have somebody on the ballot who could make things happen. Now, I'm the only one who was on the ballot in 2020, well, not on the ballot, but who run and got disqualified 2020,
right,
who is on the ballot today. Doesn't that tell you something?
What is it supposed to be telling me?
It's telling you that now at least the 5 million people who did not vote have a choice on the ballot that they're going to vote for. Plus whoever else is on the 12 whatever million that voted last time. So we're starting with a credit, huge credit, that just by me being in the race, nobody with the numbers we currently have can do the 50+1. Simple math.
I see, but you know, the other independent candidates could say same. Alan Chematin could say same.
Yeah, but they weren't here at 5. The point is,
Diako could say same.
he wasn't here 2019.
He wasn't, but perhaps now that he is, he's what the 5 million people need, and that's why he and Alan Chematin show up in the poll and you don't.
Yeah, but we talk a different language. So let's take a look at what Kofi Koranteng is going to do versus what everybody else is going to do. Chairman Ting, I don't even want you to mention Chairman Ting because he's part of MPP. Listen, you want to really fix the problems we have? If you want to fix the problems we have, then we have to start with one thing. The first we need to start with is 2024 represents something different. What it represents is if Ghana wants to move forward, then we have to look at people who have, number one, credibility in terms of performance and people we could trust. Character. Bahumia has a record. Mahama has a record. Chairman Ting has a record. There's no character in their record. There's no character in their record.
Also,
because they have said things and they have lied. And we have results and we have records to show.
okay.
Of course, unless you're not paying attention, community. But if you're paying attention, you will know that they have said things and it showed up that was totally different.
I see.
So just on trust alone, they're out. So now let's go to performance. Who has a record in performance? I could prove everything I say.
Okay.
Okay, and plus, I'm the only one who says we're going to, number one, in mega agenda for Ghana, I'm the only one who says, number one, I'm going to change the constitution. Number two, I'm going to eradicate corruption. Number three, I'm going to institute a national development plan. Number four, I'm going to reduce government by 73%, make it effective, efficient, and functional. And number five, invest $10 billion in agriculture for the next 10 years. Drone-controlled mechanized farming. Who says that?
Well, I think basically all the candidates are thinking along the same lines.
Yeah, but they can't explain it. Where they're going to find the money? They can't tell you. They're not coming along the same lines.
Let's take it a step at a time.
Sure.
You talked about character and you know,
Performance,
trust,
yeah.
and performance. What is your track record that you come to the table with?
Well, I've been at principals for 24 years with the most regulated industry in the world, the securities industry in the U.S. There's no other agency business more regulated than this. And I have a clean record. My U4, a public record, you could pull it out. So that's a record nobody compares with. My background is in engineering, so there is specificity in my thinking. You know, and they don't have it. Like I said, we have records to show that these guys have failed in the last 32 years. I'm talking about the three, okay? And nobody's record comes close to mine. It's a fact. So if, and plus, who is saying the things that I am saying? Who is saying that they're going to strip down the exemptions that we have of the presidency? Nobody can say that because they want the cushioning, they want the Teflon protection. I'm saying let's strip it.
What kind of exemptions are you referring to?
The presidential exemptions.
Okay.
So that the president has the same protection as every other Ghanaian citizen.
Oh, right.
I'm the only one who says that we're going to, 275 parliamentarians, we're bringing it down to 20. Who said that?
20?
Yes.
How will that work?
Why wouldn't that work?
I mean, how would you operationalize that? I want to understand how it would work.
Because with all the technologies that we have, community, you have cellular intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial general intelligence, quantum computing, humanoid robots. It allows you to do things more effectively, efficiently, in shorter periods. So why would you need 275 parliamentarians who are still figuring out how to get this thing to work? Do you not see that they can't figure it out? Go outside and you will see everywhere in Ghana, the whole Ghana is like a village.
What you're talking about is redemarcating the entire country. Do you?
Why do you say why do you have to read?
Because I mean, these 275 came as a result of the creation of districts, and so if you're going to, knock it all down to 20, you're looking at the entire process.
No, I'm not. You just don't understand. If you live in an apartment and you have 5 rooms, and you decide that you're gonna use one room, you don't have to knock the walls down in the other rooms. Why do you have to knock it down?
I mean, well, it's easy to say that, but administratively, I'm trying to understand or see the picture.
How many regions do we have?
16 right
Bring
now.
it down to 10 because that's where we were and was working perfectly fine.
Okay.
16 makes it administratively more complex and it's a waste of money. And we haven't seen any result from making it 16 yet, have we? We haven't. You know we haven't. It was just an administrative move that made some people happy but didn't bring any dividends to Ghanaians. So it's a waste of democracy. We bring it down to 10. You have upper region, lower region. How many parts of the 10 regions do we have? 20. Every region has 2 parts, upper region, lower region. You put a representative at the upper region, a representative at the lower region. We know people who are there. We know what ages they are. So if you know the demographics of the people who live in the region, then you know what their needs are. Simple process. Do we not?
I see.
No, I mean, you make it so complicated and it's not.
No, I don't think you get where I'm coming from, because
I get what you're coming from.
There will be constitutional requirements in order for you to be able to.
Well, of course. You're not just going to get up and
that.
say you're going to strip everything down. You have to go through the hurdles constitutionally.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is can it be done?
And you're going to be using. I don't know if it could be done.
It will
I'd like
be
to
done.
see how it would happen.
Of course, it will be done.
But you will be using these same people you are heavily criticizing. You think they'll let you have your way?
Kamini, it's an entrenched position in the Constitution. I don't need the Parliament to side with me. It goes to the Ghanaian people, who I'm making a promise to right now, that we're going to change the way Ghana works. You're not going to Parliament for the legislators to play soccer with you. No, you're going to the Ghanaian people, who you will have loyalty to. You have a jurisdictional and fiduciary obligation to the Ghanaian people, not to people in Parliament. They haven't done anything. Have they done something? Tell me. This Parliament is the most useless Parliament. They haven't done anything. If they had done something, you tell me. Go outside and look at the mess. The whole Ghana is baller. Baller everywhere. Not just baller like filth baller, but baller in terms of nothing works. Tell me what works in Ghana.
But you still want to be president of this Ghana where nothing
But that's
works.
what we need. But that's why we need to bring somebody who can fix it. That's why I am the official baller man.
I want to talk about, your relationship with the rest of the government machinery, particularly the legislature. You have criticized them a lot. You have just referred to the current parliament as useless, many of whom will be returning in the 9th parliament if you become president. Hang on. How do you hope to work with these people?
First of all, the loyalty of a legislature is not to a president. Their loyalty is to their constituents.
Yeah.
Correct? My loyalty is to the whole of Ghana. So I am going to work for the people of Ghana just as much as they're going to work for their constituents. So now if I were to come in right now, committee, and I said, we're going to build bridges and schools and all the infrastructure you need in this region. Do you think a well-thinking legislature is going to say, oh, Kofi, you're not from my party, so I'm gonna block you? Think about it. This is not the person who's going to do a PDS. I'm not here for a PDS or an Ejapadie, so I don't need a rubber stamp from the legislature.
But you're going to need to build consensus with the legislature.
But this is
for
what I'm
smooth running of your administration.
Let me tell you, smooth running for things that we are going to bring to the floor. But what I'm saying is smooth running to what extent? If what I'm going to say, if you were drowning, and I come to you and I say to you, Kamini, here is a life jacket. Take the life jacket. Are you going to argue with me that, Kofi, you're not in my party, so I'm not going to take the life? You drown. the responsibility and the fiduciary obligation of a parliamentarian is to their constituents. If I come in and I put something on table in Parliament that this is what I think needs to be done, it's to your benefit and it's to make you look good, because everything you propose in Parliament, you still need the executive office to approve, because that's how you get money from finance. Right or right? Mm-hmm. Of course. So if you want to play ball, we play ball. But what I'm saying is if the Ghanaian is the person who is going to suffer, then there's no need to play ball, because my ideas will be to serve the people of Ghana. You are responsible for your constituents, and that's what I'm here for. So this is a fallacy that's been created by NPP, NDC, that, oh, if somebody makes an attempt to become a president, they don't have a majority or minority, they're going to have a hard time working.
I mean, that's not true. It's because there are constitutional requirements that a certain quarter of your ministers must come from MP.
What's that got to do with
from Parliament?
Yeah, so
then, if you, at this point, call the entire Parliament useless, the question I was driving at, or where I was going to with that question, is that how are you building consensus so that you can run your government?
We will build consensus because, listen, if we need, you think the Parliament as a whole has been useless. There are people in there that I'm sure would want to do well for Ghana. And we will address this, and we will go to them and say, hey, come work. You think somebody's going to say no to joining our cabinet? I don't think so. I don't think so, because people know what we're about. People know that not everybody in Parliament, I think, want to do bad by Ghanaians, but they don't have a choice because of the system and how it's run. So even if you want to do good by people, you can't, because it's a cartel. Right or right? It's run like a mafioso cartel in there. So there are people who, with the right leader, with the right president, they will stick their heads up and say, you know what, Kofi, I want to work with you on this thing. You with me? We may not be 100% in agreement, but if it's for the benefit of Ghanaian people, why don't we come together and make it work? There's no need to say, you know what, I'm going to butt heads with you because you are from AXT party and I'm from this party. No, we're working for one cause, the Ghanaian people. So I don't see